You don't do everything, but nothing really moves unless you do. At work, at home, in your relationships, you're the one keeping it all from falling apart. And even when you want to stop, you can't. So you tell yourself, it's fine, I'll rest after this next thing. But after never comes. The pattern continues because the following day you wake up already thinking, even before your feet touch the floor, you're already thinking about what needs to get done. Your mind's really like already ruminating on who needs you, what else would they need from you today? Because if you don't, who will? And then in the evening, at night, at 11 p.m., when you finally sit down to relax, your mind won't stop. So you scroll, replay conversations, ask me how I know. You make another list. I love lists. Trying to relax, but you can't really rest because you are still operating under the mindset of I'll slow down later. In fact, I used to say I would rest when I was dead. Can you imagine how crazy that sounds right now? Probably sounded crazy then too. But you and I know later never actually comes. And here's what most people don't say out loud is that we have inherited something that's bigger than any personality flaw or even our superpower. Because before me, there were generations of black women who did not have the luxury of slowing down. Our mothers and grandmothers and their ancestors built their entire lives out of survival, maintaining peace at home and even in the communities, keeping food on the table, hiding their fatigue, their hurt, their disappointments, because I'm sure there was lots of that. They kept them hidden because rest and emotions did not feel safe. And we watched them, many of us, perform strength because the world demanded it. And it still does. So we learned that the way to stay loved, respected, or even alive was to stay useful. So when the world praises you, when the world praised me for being strong, being reliable, being dependent, always having it together, what they're really praising or what they're really saying is that your ability to self-abandon is fantastic. It's beautiful. That's what they're applauding. And so we learn to protect ourselves by performing, by pretending, by wearing masks. You and I learned to lead with competence instead of our needs. And so now, even when no one's asking you to prove anything per se, your body still doesn't know how to stop. We're still living in that time. Our bodies are still programmed to keep doing because that's what survival feels like. Doing. And it doesn't feel safe when you're not doing, when you stay still, when you're at rest. So because when you're always performing, you attract people who need performance, friends who only call you when they want something, need something, have something to get from you. Some of us even have partners, significant others, who love our strength, who love the way we show up, the way we have it all together, the way we run our households. But they never think, it never occurs to them to protect it. And in our professions at work, we're rewarded for production, what we do, not for who we are, our humanity. And so, because of all of that, now you are starting to see it. You're starting to see what I saw. Most of us have been chasing titles, recognition, praise, chasing the next goal, the next degree that never really brought joy because it was all about proving that we were enough. In my case, it was proving that I was worthy. And because these desires or these goals, these tasks, I won't say tasks, these goals and these pursuits were not built from a place of desire. They weren't built from what we actually wanted, from the desire of our souls. We did not feel or do not feel the wins like we should. They're almost like, oh yeah, I got that, on to the next. The wings don't land, right? They don't resonate because that's why we just keep going from one thing to another. You barely recognize it, or if you do, it's all of 10 minutes and then you're on to the next. So now let me ask you a question. This next season that you're in, midlifer, probably, what if it's not about adding anything more? No more goals, no more going, getting. What if it's about unlearning the parts of you that taught you, the programming, the conditioning that taught you to earn everything, including belonging, including worthiness, including love? What if that's what we're focused on for this next half? What if the real work is remembering who you were before the programming, the conditioning? The woman, the girl who just had the desire to be free and just sing and go after things. And I'm just using that as an example, but you know the desires in your heart when you were younger, before we started to pretend, perform, before we started to censor and monitor ourselves and how we showed up. Because I saw it firsthand. My mother looked together on the outside. She had everything under control. The household was running like a machine, well-oiled machine. But I never really knew her. She was making her way through life, always on, always producing. This is what I remember. Never quite fulfilling or finding that fulfillment that I see now she was unconsciously seeking or searching for. She passed away at 59, which now I know is young, because at the time it was like ancient. You know what I mean? She felt ancient. I mean, there was a time I thought 30 was old. So she spent the adult part of her life, the part that I remember, always doing. Never really saw her smile, never really saw her being easeful or enjoying anything that she accomplished. And so when she passed away, she was still performing, still keeping up appearances, and never truly at peace. So years later, I caught myself doing similar, chasing the same belonging. In my case, it was really about worthiness, chasing approval, chasing the things that she was seeking for. And for me, things actually look good. Career, confidence, success, but I couldn't feel myself in it. And that's why I just kept doing and doing, looking, searching for something that I couldn't quite name, but I just knew something fell off. And the more I accomplished, the more the desire to find the thing that would make me feel something grew. But I couldn't feel myself in any of it. Like I said, the more, the more I did, the more I went after things, the less fulfillment, happiness, peace I felt. And so that's when I became aware that I wasn't just performing for approval or worthiness. I was actually acting out my life, or acting in my own life. And that was really, really scary, because it's one thing to be going after something, which is in and of itself is not what I should be doing. But when your entire life is not even, it's an act, it's scary. And it shows you how easy it is to disappear inside of all the doing. And part of that too was disappearing when I people pleased, being hyper vigilant, managing the environment, managing myself, so that the response I got from people would validate what I was looking for externally. Because I cared about the opinions of others, random people I knew, it didn't even matter. People who barely cared, people who cared, it didn't matter. I was seeking for something externally that only I could give myself internally. So now here's something I remind myself of often, especially as it relates to people and caring, because that's one thing that I see in my clients and I saw in myself that was really, really hard to let go. Even when I recognized that I was performing for worthiness, even when I did all the work to unhook from that trap, one of the hardest things to break out of was to stop monitoring how I showed up, and also to stop caring about the opinion of others. It doesn't matter who it is, even loved ones, even friends. It doesn't matter. That was really, really hard, because it's very subtle. The others may present themselves more openly, but this was hard to get rid of, or at least to manage, to unhook from, to not care. Because if I don't personally know you or care for you, if you don't affect my day to day, your opinion has to be neutral. And this goes for the other side of the coin too. I mean, not only when they say things that are critical or negative or hurtful, even when they praise you, because it's both sides of the coin. If I care, if I allow your praise and your acknowledgments to make me feel good, then I conversely, your critique and your condemnation or whatever it is will also affect me. So the point is to develop neutrality to either. I mean, it doesn't mean that you don't accept praise. You say thank you, but it cannot mean more to you than what you feel about yourself means to you. So, one of the things that I'm encouraging you to do as you embark on this journey of unhooking from that trap, and you start to feel all the things that you need to feel inside instead of looking for external validation, is to remain neutral when people praise you, whether you know them or not, and remain neutral even when they critique you. Take what you take, but it's not going to make you or break you. I really don't care at this point. Thankfully, it took me a long time to get there. And sometimes I still find myself slipping back, but for the most part, I don't care. And the freedom that comes with that is priceless. Because when you're moved by strangers, it's really just another way of performing. It's another way of chasing validation instead of working on your own truth, how you feel about yourself, who you are inside. When you stop letting people who don't know you, or who even know you, but worse still, who don't know you, decide how you show up, you finally hear yourself again. Because if you don't block out that noise, the applause, the praise, the criticism, it's hard to really get to hear yourself, to know yourself, to excavate and figure out what it is that you want and how you even feel about yourself. And that's really where self-trust begins. So, if that's where you are, if you've been holding it together for everyone over the years and you're starting to feel like you're losing yourself or you've lost yourself, this is your moment. This is your hold it moment, I'll say. I created a private guided reflection to help you start loosening that armor of protection, of performing, to strip away the layers. And it's called the Rediscover Experience. Inside, I'll walk you through the exact process that I use with my private clients, that I use for myself, but that I use with my private clients inside Embody, my 8-week coaching program. It helped me to find my way back from the trap, and it's helping them to do the same. It's simple, it's reflective, and it works not because it gives you more things to do. Remember, we're unhooking from doing. That's the curse of the strong black woman. We don't know when to stop doing. It's potent, it's powerful, it works because it helps you to start hearing yourself again. And to hear yourself again, you have to block out the noise. It's really a taste of what we do in Body. It's just slowed down in a simple way. It's quiet and it's personal to give you a taste of what it's like. So you can watch it using the link. It's free below the video. Take 10 minutes and just let it marinate in it. Let it resonate. You'll see why you've been running so hard just to feel worthy, just to feel desired, just to get respect, just to earn all those things that can only come from within. And it also helps you to start changing the minute you stop. It also and what stops to change. So this is what it does. I want to get it all out there. You'll see why you've been running so hard to feel those things I mentioned, and what starts to change the minute you stop doing that, right? So go watch it, and this time do it for you, my love. I'll see you in the next video.